you got to do it for them. You got to go first. That's an old school saying, go first. Whatever you want them to feel, you got to do it. You want someone to be passionate about what you're saying, you got to be passionate first. If I'm bored in what I'm saying, you're going to be bored too. The same with certainty. If I'm not certain, I'm like, so I think you got to, let me check my notes, everyone. I think you got to go first. that was it, go first. I think that does help vibe-wise if you just, go first. People will, they'll kind of, the law of state transference, whatever you feel, they feel. So if you feel passionate, they'll be passionate too. That was it. So write that down, law of state transference, everyone. Are you going to listen to what I'm saying?
It's funny as they're doing it.
No, yeah, right. It's like, even if it's true, it just won't click. So there are these basic, you could say, principles through which to channel your message that will ensure that it connects with someone. It's not just about authenticity. It has to be grounded in authenticity. You can't fake it. But if you're not doing those certain basic requirements, that authenticity is not going to connect. Think expression, connection, expression, connection. A lot of people, they're on top of their authenticity. Hey, I'm being authentic, just not connecting. Why? Those basic requirements. Same as just not being loud enough. Right? I've seen this for years, by the way, socially. People are like, hey, how's it going? Oh, they didn't want to talk to me. They didn't even hear you. I got rejected. No, you didn't. They didn't notice you. You weren't even in it to begin with. So it comes down to bringing that vibe. Now, I know it can be scary because bringing that vibe means being vulnerable. We always tend to think being vulnerable is like putting our secrets out there. Oh, this happened to me when I was 2, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, that's vulnerable. We think vulnerable is showing your emotions, say in our relationships, what you're truly feeling, your insecurities. Is that vulnerable? Yes. But being vulnerable is also unleashing everything that is you. Being charismatic, being captivating is no joke, quite similar to say, why are people scared to sing? It's the same thing. There's a certain sense of vulnerability behind it. Putting your voice out there in a loud way, there's a certain sense of vulnerability. I can't be, oh, what are they going to think? Oh, no, are they judging my voice? That's going to stifle me. Get it? So you have to be willing to be seen and be judged, because you will be judged. You cannot avoid it. Right? Take the situation here. No matter what I do up here, I'm going to be judged. No matter what. I'll either be judged in a positive way or a negative way, but guaranteed, every single time you will put yourself out there in front of a crowd, you'll be judged in both ways. There are people who are going to think, wow, this guy's awesome. Some others like, screw this guy, a little weird. That's going to happen. But I'd rather be judged being me, putting in some goddamn effort and passion, than being judged, being like, oh, trying to maintain a front here, trying to be cool. I hope you like what I'm saying. Oh, are you judging me now? I hope, state transference. I heard that's good. I'll be judged regardless. So if you know for a fact you're going to be judged regardless, why not do your best? Why not be you? And embrace that judgment. It doesn't matter. Do you remember the first time you felt anxious? Was it birth? As we talked about before, coming out of your mother like, the world. Maybe. When was the first time? Reflecting back on this is the first step. It's a lot of introspection. Like, when did I start experiencing this? And as a parent, you also see it in your own kids, where, you're teaching your kids, of course, a lot, but they also remind you and teach you a lot. Like seeing my daughters, it reminds me too of what it's like to truly be before this whole process of socialization, right? Because that's life. It's like, you're in this thing called the world, called life, and then you learn how to operate. You got to learn the rules, right? It's like, well, hey, don't go out in public naked, right? If I were to just completely naked now, everyone would be like, half of you'd run out, half of you'd run towards me, right? It'd be like, it's just not appropriate to the rules. So there are certain rules and guidelines in society. Is that good? Yes or no? Yeah, or it'd be chaos. So it's good. And you got to teach your kids the rules. Your kids also learn, okay, well, how do I communicate with others? They'll talk to other adults, other kids, and they start figuring out, okay, here's how I talk, et cetera, et cetera. So you go through this whole process. Now, the way that, I want to say most, but technically all parents will teach this to their kids, is through punishment and reward, right? No matter how perfect you are, there's always a little bit of that where you're like, no, don't do this, yes, do that. It's punishment and reward. So that's the first factor. You come in, you're like, what's life? Guidelines, punishment, reward. And then the third is that as a kid, your perception is very limited on the world. This took me a long time to figure out. Where, let's just say you're allowed at a restaurant, right? You're 4 years old. I remember my mom said this, I don't remember, but my mom told me at some point I was in a restaurant. I don't know how old I was, but I asked her very, very loud. I'm like, Mom, and it was like steak and whatnot. I'm like, is this dead cow? And the whole restaurant was like, what? Now say there's this situation, your parents are like, shh, shh, oh, yes, but don't scream that, don't scream that. And they could be very nice about it. Hey, don't scream that. But perhaps as a kid, again, you have a very limited perception. You might interpret that as, oh no, they don't love me right now. Ooh, me saying dead cow's not good. They might not love me as much. What if they don't love me as much? What could happen? They could abandon me. Can I survive on my own as a kid? Yes? No? No? So I could die right now. If I'm a little too loud in a restaurant, I could die. And your survival instinct kicks in. Now to cope with that, what do? You're like, well, let's never be loud again. This loudness aspect of me is threatening my survival in this thing called the world. Let's disown it. Let's never speak up, and let's avoid situations where I speak up, because speaking up could mean disapproval and death. And you start disowning different parts, different experiences even of yourself. You might be in school, teacher asks a question, you answer, and you look and you see a couple of the school kids snicker in the corner, like that. You're like, oh, what? They don't approve of me either. Limited perception as a kid. Do you think life exists beyond the classroom? No. I mean, you're aware, yes, there's more than the classroom, but your daily existence is the classroom. That's all you think about, is the classroom, where you stand in the classroom, your friends in the classroom, the teachers, the hierarchy, that's all that matters. Well, hey, if everyone laughs in the classroom, you get ostracized, you die, because that's the world. It's like getting kicked out of the world. I don't fit in the world, I don't fit in the classroom. Survival instinct kicks in. Those are also defined as traumatic experiences. Then what do? Let's never speak up. Now, these are just two general examples, but how might that affect you in your adult life? Hey, come up here on stage and speak up. You want to, you just can't. It just stifles. Why? Because that same survival instinct as a child gets activated. We call this getting triggered. Different situations that trigger you to, say, embody the loud aspect of you, to embrace situations where you are seen, the same fear of death kicks in. And this is why you hear one of the number one fears in the world is public speaking, which is insane. Right? Like even coming up in front of a crowd, are you going to die? No. Like say I came up here and completely fumbled. I'm just like, oh, I just forgot what I saw. Oh no. And just say like one of my feet flies off and shit. I'm like, it's all over everyone. Oh no. What's the worst that happens? We all get a chuckle out of it, including myself. That's the worst. Is anyone going to kill me? I hope not. It's Florida. Everyone's ready to go. Don't mess up, motherfucker. Right? You know, no. The same with a lot of those situations that cause anxiety, right? I remember too, this is way back in the day, like 2010, another client that wanted to work on his social skills, and I was like, cool, let's go say hi, let's go meet some people, let's say hi. And we were in a McDonald's, and I'm like, hey, go say hi to some people over there. So all he had to do was say, hey, I'm John, nice to meet you. What's the worst case scenario? Oh, no thanks, John, we're busy. No thanks. That's the worst case scenario, right? Do you die from that? Does it ruin your life? They said, no, thank you. No. I told him that, and his reaction, you saw his body go from to tense. Just like the blood rushed out, like just pale white. I'm like, come on, John, go say hi. And I even gave him like a little friendly nudge, and he started hanging onto the McDonald's table, like, I'm like, come on. He's like, no, I can't. Julie, no. As if he's about to like jump off out of an airplane or something. Like, no, I can't. I'm like, the worst case scenario is no thanks. Why? Is his response appropriate to reality? No. So it has nothing to do with the external situation. It's what the external situation activates within him. And you can audit in your life. When is your response disproportionate to reality? That's the tell. When is it disproportionate? When is your emotional reaction not attached to anything out there? All right? And it can be subtle too. For example, you might be relaxing at home and suddenly you just feel the urge to, I got to distract myself. Ooh, I feel a little anxious just chilling here. I got to put some TV on, some music on. Right? Got to call a friend, got to do something, got to work, because you can't relax and stand still with yourself. Well, that's interesting. Why are you getting triggered by peace? Or someone who is hurt after a breakup for years later. Right? Is a breakup sad? Yes? No? Yes. All right, someone's like, no. No, yes, of course it is. Right? If the answer is no, you weren't truly in a relationship to begin with. Of course it is. But it should not be something that runs you for years to come. You'll see people again 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 years later, even remarried. My first wife. It's like, that's you getting triggered. That's something to let go of. That's something inside you that gets activated. You also see this in relationships, right? Even like fear of abandonment, so on and so forth. Like all that gets activated. So the deeper approach, and this is true self-help in my humble opinion, is going beyond just the coping advice. True self-help and inner work, really, letting go and deep inner work, isn't as flashy, but it's a lot scarier. But that's where the true result is. You got to stop running away from your inner demons. You got to dive right into them. And you have to realize that you are strong enough and capable enough to handle that right here, right now. Okay, another example with trauma, this is something Peter Levine talks about. Amazing books. I'd highly recommend reading Waking the Tiger. He compares trauma a little less on the spiritual side. He links it to how animals experience it and studies a lot of PTSD. And the example he gives, this is a classic one, is say we take a deer that's getting attacked by a bear. You're the deer. Okay, so you're there. You see this bear coming in. In a situation like that, there's the good old fight or flight, which we all know. If you're a deer, can you fight a bear? No, so that option's gone. Can't fight. What if you're cornered? You can't run away. Flight's gone as well. When fight or flight are eliminated, there is a third option. It's called freeze, dissociation. And you'll see this where, as he says in the book, you'll see a deer, for example, like if the bear's coming, can't do anything. So what are you going to do? You're going to try to disconnect, dissociate as much as you can from what's happening. So on a physical level, you'll see the deer just kind of play dead. Just lie down, play dead, try to disconnect from feeling. And I mean, that's all you can really do. It's like, go to my happy place. I'm not here. I'm not here. Okay. You'll even hear, by the way, with a lot of traumatic situations like violence or abuse, a lot of survivors describe their experience from a third-person perspective, as if they were watching themselves, say, from even the ceiling. That's dissociation, disconnect. Now, what does that do? On one hand, on a purely external level, if you play dead, maybe the bear will leave you alone. Right? Say, it's dead next. But even if the bear were to rip you to shreds, the pain wouldn't be as bad because you're completely disconnected even from feeling, where you wouldn't even feel your limbs being ripped off. So that's the state that we go into. It's how to cope with something that's just too overwhelming to experience. Now, let's just say the bear looks at the deer, is like, next, and walks off. What you'll see in nature is the deer will then get up and shake uncontrollably, like shake it out, like that. And then just go about its jolly day as if nothing happened. Because although the deer's plain dead, not moving, the energy there is pent up, it's tense, the nervous system's activated, survival instinct's activated. So it shakes it off and then goes about. What we do as humans, though, is we experience similar situations, not necessarily with a bear. Again, it also depends on your perspective. Maybe even a kid lost in a grocery store. I'm lost, I'm gonna die, like that. And then say your parent finds you, like, oh, there you are. Unlike the deer, we never shake it off. We get up, we're like, the bear's gone. I'm fine. Hey, everyone, I'm fine. Another bear. I'm fine. I'm fine. And we're just carrying around all this tenseness, which is why the greatest song of all time is Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. She knew something that none of us knew. You gotta shake it off. That's what runs so many of us. It's like we're getting triggered left and right. We have this reservoir of things that we're just trying to stuff down. We're tense. Let go. Shake it off. Do that and you'll get back in touch with that natural state prior to all of those events. This is also the cause of low self-esteem. You've disowned so much that is you that you really feel like there's all this ickiness and evil inside of you, and you have to compensate for it and hide it and put on this front. You got to let it go. And when you truly get to the cause and learn how to let go of it, you no longer get triggered. And the day you are no longer triggered is the day you are free.